Peace, love. I hope you're doing pleasant because you know you are. If not, transmute that immediately in a soft and slow unpacking way. Love you guys, appreciate you guys. Check out Emotions Made Easy if you want to talk. Done. That's it. If you want to speak, understand that the way through is talking through your emotions. And we at Emotions Made Easy help you unpack that so you can unlock that. Yeah. Fire safety made easy for a better career with more money so you can financially support you and your family and your hopes and your dreams, your independence and freedom. Clothing coming soon. My raps say healing, healing, healing minds. So we're dropping a mixtape in a few. I'm thinking Super Sane Passion 1. I like that idea. So Pineal's out on all platforms. Anywho, let's get right into it. Let's dive in. Okay, how can unpacking negativity lead to unlocking a higher mindset? What I've learned from unpacking negativity is that you have to understand that a positive experience is not only things not changing. It's not the idea of things not changing and things being comfortable, because a lot of people consider negativity when things change, and now you got to put in that work. So now we're starting to understand that a positive experience is you successfully embracing negativity and transmuting that negativity into a positive perspective. So it makes your possibilities in relevance to uncertainty and not knowing what the future may hold a lot more cleaner. Because the spirit is naturally clean. What you're doing here is getting used to educating yourself in relevance and alignment with your spirit. Your spirit is naturally empathetic. So now we're getting to a space where reason and integrity is now turning into spiritual understandings and esoteric understandings. And it's very, very crucial for you to understand that this is for you. What's for you is for you. Nobody won't understand you until they understand you. Anyways, we all agree to understand. So unpacking can lead to unlocking a higher mindset by you, because remember, you can't play a board game until you unpack it. There's no way to unlock achievements without having the game. You have to put in the work to purchase the game. So now we're starting to understand that in order to create a higher mindset, you have to embrace your lower mindset. The more you understand the lower mindsets in relevance to entities like fear, anger, guilt, blame, you'll start to understand that, oh snap, I'm supposed to be raising my vibration. And if you're trying to be logical with it, look at the Map of Consciousness by David R. Hawkins. The survival paradigm is the lowest paradigm. You raise your vibrations up to the reason and integrity and move your space, your paradigm up, your frequency up to the spiritual paradigm. At the spiritual paradigm, you've become comfortable with unpacking and unlocking to a point where the universe naturally accepts your work. Remember, you are the you and I in the word universe. The universe is mental. So it can't work if you don't unlock pathways. The only way to unlock pathways, you have to unpack. I remember I was watching Supernatural and Bobby went into a coma, right? And he had a door that he was afraid to open when Sam and Dean walked into his universe to save him. Beautiful show. They basically asked him how come he didn't want to open that door. And the esoteric aspect behind it was that door contained Bobby's wife. Bobby's wife was the first demon that he ever killed. You see what I'm saying? So A lot of times we have doors, even Sam. Remember, Sam had that idea in relevance to them locking away the devil in a certain part of his mind. And if he broke that down, he would reveal so many aspects of what he went through in relevance to hell when he was in the cage with Lucifer. Supernatural shits, super dope show. But my thing about it is this: in order to unlock, you have to unpack. In order to receive a high perspective, you have to go through your low. In order to get to any destination, in order to get to a new frequency of being, a higher mindset, you have to take that path through the lower mindset or your lower being state. You can't spell forgiveness without spelling it with the F. It starts with the F and ends with the S, but you can't forget the in between. So that's how unpacking negativity leads to unlocking a higher mindset. It starts to show you deeper things about yourself, and that you're actually capable of transmuting your emotions. Thus me making something called Emotions Made Easier, because it's all about unpacking and unlocking. It's that simple. I won't even try to make or intellectualize it. It's just you having conversations and I'm asking you different questions so you can unpack even more in a safe space with the intent to unlock. Once you unlock, you start to unlock different manifestations and different wealth and different aspects that you were not even privy to. So that's the idea, and that's how unpacking negativity leads to unlocking a higher mindset. Okay, second question. What does it mean to transmute a negative into a positive? When you transmute, what does it mean? It means mastery. You have to understand, based on the Kabbalion, you're taking lower vibrations and transmuting them into higher vibrations. It never said anything about predicting the future. You're only taking a lower mind state and transcending that mind state based on your work and your energy and your spirit is always there to help you, into a higher understanding. What does it mean? It's a positive experience when you've accepted the process. A lot of times we can't get through things because we suffer through accepting what we have to go through. There's this saying, you got the embrace, pity, and endure, pity, then embrace. A lot of times we have to endure our hell, go through our pity, our persecution complex. Oh, it's not fair. So we can actually embrace what we endured when we let go of the pity. You have to understand, how long can you stay in the mind state where you blame everything outside yourself for all the things internally created by you? That's the loop. That's the hell that you don't want to be in, but you have to go through. We think everybody's fault, but who's creating the idea that it's everybody's fault? It's you, okay? So we're learning to understand, right, that what does it mean to transmute a negative into a positive? It means that you're moving forward. You're accepting the universe and you're accepting that state of nirvana. There's a process for nirvana. You have to make sure that you understand that you're worthy of positive experiences, but you have to understand what a positive experience is. It's you taking that negative, embracing it, and then turning it into something positive. If you can't do that internally, you have a lot of work to do. Ask yourself how you would respond to the most nicest person. How would you respond to someone that you consider very loving, a significant other, or a genuine person, or a genuine mind state? How would you respond to them if they ask you a question? Now, I do this from time to time. I'll ask myself, Well, what if something happens at the laundromat or on your way to the laundry? What do you mean? I've done laundry so much times. Wrong, not the right answer. But you will come across it. So in order to get to a space of healing, I asked myself, if my girl felt as though something might happen, how would I respond to it in relevance to her saying this? What if something bad happens? And I said, well, honestly speaking, if you feel like we shouldn't walk and you feel that in the depths of your soul, let's find another alternative so we can get where we need to get genuinely, because we got to do laundry, right? It's very cleansing. Do your laundry. So how do you feel in relevance to it? How deep is that feeling of something potentially happen? Because I believe in feminine clairvoyance. My lady is very clairvoyant. So I take what she says in a woman genuinely very, very serious. Take women serious because their intuition never lies. It's like those shows on CSI when you were told, like your intuition told you not to go somewhere and the women still go there. They end up being right in relevance to what they were told. Sometimes we ignore our spirit, and that's for men too. So that's the idea. If you can't do it for yourself and you're still practicing, ask yourself the question for somebody positive and genuine, or a genuine mind state of yourself, and then respond from that space. So now you can hear how a genuine response should sound, and you're not focused on judging yourself for having that thought. Yeah? How does accepting uncertainty contribute to personal growth? When it comes to accepting uncertainty, and this is what the Buddhist is talking about, nirvana, when you start to not desire, you start to kill the suffering. A lot of times we're trying to control reality, but you're not understanding. You can control reality, but not from the perspective of literal or intellectualizing the aspect or egotism. Your way of controlling reality is by taking your lower and changing it and transmuting it into a higher, and now you'll have higher thoughts, which will prepare you for the uncertain. This is how it works. So the whole goal is not to dictate what the future is actually to understand your present based on your past, so you're prepared for the future. That's how it works. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I summed it up right. So how does accepting uncertainty contribute to personal growth? The minute you accept that, now you have time to live life with your significant other, love, appreciate yourself, take that beautiful shower that you need to take. You need to understand that we use our past to transmute our present and prepare ourselves for a beautiful future. And the personal growth within relevance to that is now you're not going through as much suffering because you're casually handling things from a space of accepting uncertainty. In what ways can embracing a negative understanding lead to positive experiences? Well, what I say is this. One way that embracing a negative understanding leads to positive experiences, I watch it happen with my beautiful lady. When I hear her speaking and her energy seems like it may be scary for me, the minute I embrace it is the minute I start to understand more. I think embracing is that willing aspect of curiosity. So now I accept the fact that I'm curious about finding out more about you. Remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not really real. So once you start to understand that, the curiosity starts to trigger. And you're like, well, you know what? When you're curious, what is the method that you use to understand things in relevance to your curiosity? Active communication, such as active listening. You feel me? Don't just observe. Take your time to observe the situation before you walk in, not knowing or thinking you know more than you actually do. So, until you've answered that beautiful question that your spirit has posed or given, then you can move on to the understanding of positive experiences. But you have to have that will. So, one of the ways embracing negative understandings leads to positive experiences is by you taking your time to embrace situations with people that you love, embracing your fears, embracing aspects from a space of tiptoeing, but still being mindful and aware of your progress. That's the whole idea. Keep going until you find that gratitude in your keep going. Yeah, that's the idea. What role does accountability play in being the creator of our own experiences? One thing that I notice with people, and it's human nature at this point, we'll hold ourselves accountable for an achievement, but never hold ourselves accountable for the mistakes we create or the mistakes or failures we take part in because we're so scared of failing. Either way, you still have to go through the endure and pity and embrace stage. The quicker you give up the pity and the guilt and the blame is the quicker you'll embrace what you endured. But you have to understand everything takes time. You walk through your triggers and you walk down these paths of not knowing because it will ultimately create the idea of knowing, and that's constant. Confidence is limitless. Aspects of the reason and integrity paradigm, such as acceptance, forgiveness, love, transcending aspects of enlightenment, they're all continuous, and you're learning how to be better in relevance to evolving into a higher nature. You know, forever, and this is going to be timeless, caterpillars will forever be turning into butterflies. It's okay. That stage continues to repeat for us once we accept the process between the caterpillar and the butterfly stage. Okay? So accountability plays a big role. The more you can understand that you are responsible not for what happens, but how you respond to your negative perspectives, how you respond to holding yourself accountable and responsible for how you respond, that's when things start to change for you. You start to become a full-on leader. See, it's one thing to blame others, but it's another thing to hold yourself accountable. Accountability and blame are two different things. You're blaming somebody, you don't fully understand why you're blaming them, and blame is actually a negative understanding. That's what creates anger. When you blame everything outside yourself, rather than looking internally and understanding that the universe is so fucking mental. But that's the role that accountability plays in being the creator of your own experiences. You won't be able to fully experience the highest version of yourself if you don't hold yourself accountable for the lower version of yourself. And that's the beauty. Shout outs to Emotions Made Easy, because that's the whole goal. Unpack so you can unlock. If you don't hold yourself accountable for unpacking, how can you enjoy unlocking? Right? Let's do one more question, right? I like doing this. How can transmuting lower vibrations into higher vibrations help in mastering self? Now, the uncertainty that you must have, the acceptance of uncertainty, which is continuous and accepting it, that you must have in relevance to the future. In order for your future to somewhat lean towards what you want, it's like playing Monopoly. You have to play Monopoly from a space of accepting, if I land here, it could go bad. I might have to pay that income tax. If I land here, I might be able to buy boardwalk. And then before you know it, I can auction it out to the person that obtains Park Place. Or I might get Park Place and it's lit for me and I can start building houses and hotels. But the whole key behind it is accepting the lower vibrations so you can transmute that into the higher. A lot of times we like to accept the higher vibrations without seeing what it took in relevance to creating from that lower vibration. Every higher vibration started out low. So right now, the key for you is mindfulness and awareness. Even for me, it's about being aware and mindful of the key role that you play in transmuting your lower vibration into a higher vibration. A lot of times we don't give ourselves enough gratitude when it comes to the work that we put in, and most call it shadow work. So now you're accepting things and you're accepting the role that you play. So let's just say, for example, I notice and I'm aware of something positive. I have to accept not only that it came for me, but that I'm the reason and the influence, I'll say, because you can't control the future. You can just take your past, use that to creating your present to transmute low to high. But I am the influence behind being aware of those positive opportunities. The more you unpack is the more you're aware of positive opportunities. If you're so focused on receiving, you'll never see the part that you play in relevance to giving. You have to give to get. There always has to be that law of equivalence. Watch The Alchemist. That show is beautiful. You have to understand the law of equivalence. You play a role in your demise. I never said you cause your demise, but the way you think and what you're aware of and how mindful you are, how much you meditate, how much you read, how much you self-educate yourself on, influences what happens to you. And when what happens to you is what you see. You got to understand this. It's 500 Christians practicing Christianity, or I should just say religion, 500 different ways. And we all have different fingerprints, so we're unique on a physical thing. So you understand that we're unique when it comes to up here. So yeah, mastering self is you getting used to taking lower into a higher state and just sitting back knowing that you did that work. I've mastered myself enough to understand that anything that comes my way, I did the work. How can you go to the NBA if you was never on the JV team? I'm not saying it's not possible, but you have to experience things. You feel me? You can't just say, well, okay, because I didn't get what I want, I failed. That's not the way it works. If you want to think from that space and vibrate from that space, you have to start asking yourself, why is it that every time I do that and I walk in with that idea, why am I suffering? Because you're not feeling like you're worthy of positive opportunities because you haven't begun to experience how to create one. You have to transmute low to high. If you don't do that, you won't know how it feels to put in the work. You can't get nowhere without work. You have to put in the actions. You understand? Much love, much peace. We'll do a part 2 to this tomorrow. Much love. I appreciate you guys. Continue, just in summary, continue to transmute your low into high, because that's the way to master accepting uncertainty. That's the way to hold yourself accountable. Emotions made easy, up and live, we're making it simple. Just go talk to somebody, have fun, unpack so you can unlock. You want to unlock your highest version of self, but in order to do that, you have to unpack. Nice talk, guys. Much peace and much love.